Hello everyone, we're back in Blender. Now, previously we were playing around with the basic movements of our object in our scene. Now, since you've gotten used to moving around your said object, we can move on to creating new objects for our scene. I'm just gonna click A to select everything in our scene. Sometimes you probably need to double click A to deselect the previous object, and then click X to delete. After clicking X, you should click on the OK option. Uh, Now, previously, I've also kind of glossed over how you can just click on the Create menu here and create a basic primitive, aka the cube. Now, if you click on the cube, there should be additional options down below the sort of menu here. You can see Add Cube. There are these options here. Now, for every single object here, there should generally be the location and rotation options right off the bat. And you can generally just play around with these options if you want. You don't exactly need to do anything here. Uh, Radius, if you want to scale it right here instead of scaling it down here, you can type in, say, 5 scaled. And if you want to slightly rotate this, let's say 45 degrees, so you can actually see how it rotates. As you can see, like the green axis is Y, so we're going to rotate it this way over here. I'm just going to click on enter, and you'll see it rotates on the Y axis. And if I wanted to, I could also rotate on the X axis or Z axis, but I'm not going to do that. Let's go ahead and delete this cube and show you the other types of objects. Say the UV sphere. I'm just going to skip over the circle because this is a flat piece and it's not as many options to go over. Let's go click on UV sphere. Now, again, you can see the location rotation of the object when it's freshly made. And right now, we have a few different options here, such as segments, rings, and size. Well, size is still the same thing. It's basically the scale of our object. Say 5, just scale this up again. Scales up to that much. Now, the segments is the amount of sort of edges here. Each polygon or mesh has a bunch of edges to provide itself the shape. Let's go to the top view and orthographic. Click 5 and 7. Yeah, and right here in the top, it'll say top ortho. If we decrease the amount of, say, segments, it'll drop the roundness, or not roundness, the smoothness of our object here. You can clearly tell the flat surfaces of all these areas now. And if we were to, say, increase it to 50, it will look a lot rounder. So generally, segments just makes it look rounder. Let's go down here. We can increase the rings. Rings is basically the horizontal edges over here that flow along our sphere. We can drop it down like a lot too. Let's go like 10. You can clearly tell from the side here, or let's go into front view or right view. You can tell that the rings right here has been cut down. If we increase this as well up to say 50, our sphere is a lot smoother compared to before. Yeah, it's generally the options for our sphere. I'm gonna delete this. Gonna create a cylinder now. Cylinder is basically the same thing. Um, there are these options. It's closely resembling the UV sphere. We can increase the vertices, make this smoother from, if you look at it from the top. We can decrease it down, say again 16, type in. You can tell that it's not as smooth anymore. We can jump this up to 50, super smooth, and there you go. Now radius, same thing. It just sort of makes it larger, say 50. That's a little bit too big. I'll drop it down to like 10 again. Uh, See, it just scales it out on the X and the Y axes. The depth is the up and down, so the z-axis, we can draw, just jump it up to 10, and it just scales it up. You can scale this down again, just put it down here. And there you go. Yeah, let's delete this. Now, let's see. Isosphere is basically the same as a sphere, but instead of having rings, it has triangles here, so it creates subdivisions. So we can subdivide this or unsubdivide this and make it even less. Let's go to 1. You can clearly tell that the triangles of this object get larger. Increase this more and more and more. The triangles get smaller and smaller, but the smoothness of this sphere gets, well, I guess smoother right here, as you can see. Looks pretty cool. Looks like a golf ball right now. I'm just going to delete this. Let's go down to the cone. Basically same thing. Can increase the height. Can't really see if you can tell that this thing is getting taller. Let's say 5. Yeah, depth, radius, increase the radius of the top. There's radius 1, radius 2. This is the bottom, top. And vertices, again, same thing, makes this smoother from the side if you look at it from the top. And that is it for those options. We can delete this, go to torus. We can increase the amount here. Let's go, oh, no, I'm gonna use the presets. Major segments, minor segments, it should be, these are the smoothness from here. If you look from the top, oh, top view, you can tell that there are an increase of edges around our torus right here. And also minor segments, the inner sort of rings, we can increase this to make this look a lot more smoother. A actual donut sort of shape can go like, say, 30. And as you can see, it looks a lot smoother. Now that is basically it for our polygon type of meshes. I can create a grid too. Grid plane, same thing. Can just delete that, but there should be some additional edges in here as a grid. If we go into edit mode, you can tell. I will explain. I will talk about edit mode in a different video. For now, we'll just leave it here, and you can delete this. There is a sort of default monkey head that Blender has provided. It's just there for fun, and it's basically for, I guess, training purposes. If you want to, texture this, play around with it, they just left it there. And I'm just gonna delete that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for our polygons, polygon shapes. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.